Hi, this is an introduction to our concept of turning contacts into connections, which reflects a transformation that's occurring in sales, and particularly in B2B complex sales. Two inexorable trends are impacting B2B selling. Commoditization of products and services is diminishing differentiation as a competitive edge, and the internet is empowering buyers to do much, if not most, of their own research. Frankly, buyers have little need now for much of what sales reps have been used to doing. In fact, today, how you sell is much more important than what you sell. For example, a study by the Sales Executive Council of 2,600 companies revealed that in complex sales, the sales experience, which is essentially buyer-rep interaction, now has more impact on customer loyalty than everything else combined. That is, more impact than most of what sales reps have typically spoken about. The sales experience is unique value a rep brings to the table. It's not product information, but business, industry trends, and data. It's specifically insights and unique perspectives relevant to that buyer. Buyers need reps that help them succeed in the broadest sense, not narrowly focused product promoters. Now, successful reps form a special connection with buyers. They become what is in effect trusted advisors. Building trust has nothing to do with your product or industry. It's to do with you. It's simply down to how you engage with the other person. Now, of course, you need industry knowledge to go beyond that, to sell. But that's of little benefit if you're not first seen as trustworthy and credible, and that's where Traxel comes in. It helps you to assess your relationships with your contacts and to transform them into trusted connections. We'll take a look now at how that works. To begin with, we've codified 4 different types of business relationships to help you better understand them. Firstly, there's ad hoc, which is a situational relationship, and it's typically how most relationships begin. For example, a sales inquiry, where Mary asks you for help with an immediate requirement or problem. Now, there's little certainty, and requests are often unexpected. They become urgent, and you operate on Mary's time rather than your own. And requests for time-consuming proposals are not uncommon with this type of relationship. Of course, I'm generalizing now. Next is technical relationships. Bill recognizes you for your technical ability and that your offering is as good or better than your competitors, but there's little personal rapport or engagement. Your interaction is functional and centers on business issues or requirements at the time. It's quite focused interaction. And the specific problem with this type of relationship is that if at some point in the future a competitor is seen to be more knowledgeable, they will likely supplant you in Bill's affections. Then there's a social relationship, one we're all familiar with. You get on well with Jane, the relationship is friendly, but it could be potentially superficial. You obviously share common interests and you enjoy each other's company, your friends. However, conversations are less likely to come to grips with business issues, and when they do, there can be some awkwardness if neither of you wants to risk compromising a perceived friendship. Finally, partnership. Joe trusts you. He sees you as a trusted advisor. He often asks for your advice, even if it's not within your field of expertise, simply because he values your opinion. He sees you as being there to help him rather than to sell to him, because he gains value out of every interaction with you. And because he trusts you, Joe feels comfortable discussing issues with you that he can't with most others. You're a confidant. In sales situations, there are less likely to be lengthy proposals, and there's rarely an argument about price since Joe believes you treat him fairly. A partnership is actually a balance of the 3 types of relationships, and is clearly the type of relationship that you want, and our objective is to help you build them. Now, by the way, if you'd like to know more about business relationships and how to build partnerships, the bestseller Smart Selling by Keith Dugdale and David Lambert is an excellent read and available in good bookshops as well as online from Amazon. So now let's have a look at how Traxel helps you build partnerships. How you interact with another person, for example in a meeting, reflects the relationship you have or are building, and an assessment of that interaction is a useful way to gain an insight. The Traxel and Vestro meeting assessments take little more than a minute and provide you with what we call a relationship traction score. The letter defines the type of relationship. A for ad hoc, T for technical, S for social, P for partnership, and the number between 1 and 100, the level of partnership. A score of 70 or more means the relationship is a partnership. Less than that, and it must be one of the other three types. Most importantly, the assessment also provides practical coaching tips on what you can do from the very next meeting to move the relationship from where it is to partnership. So just to reiterate, we're assessing your interaction here, not the relationship as such. However, a given style of interaction will inevitably result in a particular type of relationship. Now, if you'd like to know more about this and, for example, try a meeting assessment for yourself, you can access them on our website. Just go to Learning and Resources and follow your nose. Alternatively, you may like to download Vestro, the mobile app, from the Android or iTunes app stores and try it with your own contacts. Thank you for listening.